when the monsoon rains fall among the fields of rice, among the fields of Nadia, among the fields of Nadia, you forget your world and the jealous foes. As you dance in fields of mud. Fields of what? As you dance along the Ganga. Om Vishnu Padhai Krishna Prishthai Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Prasyajyane Shatane. What is it? What's in the tea?
Cherries.
Cherries? Raspberry.
Mint.
Raspberry mint. And honey? Wow. You should open a tea stall. Ananta Shakti's tea stall. So I thought we should read about mercy because opening is coming and we should meditate on Mahaprabhu's mercy. So, I think that's a good idea. It ties into the topic we've been discussing because we've been discussing our disqualification. So we'll read some things Prabhupada said and we can discuss. This is from, Srila Madhvacharya cites from Vedic literature the example that a gentleman sometimes neglects his own interest and that of his children to give charity to a poor beggar. That's interesting, isn't it? His children are taken care of, more or less. So sometimes then he'll go find a beggar. Maybe neglect his children a little bit. Similarly, the Lord gives preference to a helpless devotee who depends completely on his mercy. The only way to obtain the Lord's mercy is through his causeless love. And the Lord is most lovingly inclined towards those devotees who are most dependent on him. Just as ordinary mothers and fathers worry more about their helpless children than about those who are self-sufficient. Thus, even if one lacks any material qualification, one should simply depend upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead without any other interest, and surely one will achieve the highest perfection of life. So this is nice because it makes us think that the more unqualified we are, the more we would depend on Krishna because we feel so unqualified to be Krishna conscious. And as Madhvacharya says, the more you depend on Krishna, the more he looks towards you. And that's how you attract his attention. Of course, humility is required, because humility means I understand that I need help. And proud people, you know proud people, they don't think they need help, right? They think they can do everything themselves. Yes? The Lord gives preference to a helpless devotee who depends completely on His mercy. So, if you want to get to the front of the line of mercy, you want preferential seating, pre-boarding seating, then what do you have to do? Completely depend on Krishna's mercy. So devotee is supposed to think, I am nothing, without your mercy I'm nothing. And therefore, I need it desperately. And the materialistic person thinks, I'm intelligent, I'm strong, and I can do it myself. This is what Prabhupada says in the Gita. The Supreme Lord is unlimited. His favor is unlimited. His mercy is unlimited. Therefore, the mercy of the Supreme Lord upon His pure devotee is unlimited. Raise your hand if you could use unlimited mercy. Yes, of course. Raise your hand if you need unlimited mercy. Yes, of course. So, Gaur Purnima is a very good day to pray for unlimited mercy. Put yourself before Mahaprabhu and say, these are my faults, these are my defects, these are my needs. I pray for your mercy. On my own, I cannot be successful. I can only try, but on my own, I don't have the strength. Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays, Krishna is yours, Krishna se toma, Krishna dipe pa, you can give him to me. I don't have him. I can't get him. Krishna has him. Prabhupada, the pure devotee has him. Prabhupada has Krishna. Prabhupada, please give me Krishna. One time, Prabhupada told a devotee, I think Prabhupada said something like to this devotee, have you seen Krishna? The devotee said, no, Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, I want you to see Krishna. I want to show you Krishna. So, isn't that nice? Prabhupada wants to show us Krishna. And all he needs is people who are willing to see it. And people who know they're not qualified and are willing to pray for mercy. So we're meant to understand that all the advancement we make in Krishna consciousness is a result of mercy of Guru and Gauranga. In that sense, we feel helpless. Your mercy, Bhaktivinoda Narottam Das Thakur, your mercy is everything to me. I'm running behind you shouting, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. You have Krishna, by your mercy I can get Krishna. I'm running behind you shouting, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. This is from the 4th canto, 9th chapter, text 8. The Supreme the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be forgotten even for a moment by His surrendered devotees. The devotee understands that the Lord's causeless mercy is beyond his estimation. Wow. Listen to this. He cannot know how much he is benefited by the grace of the Lord. The more a devotee engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord, the more encouragement is supplied by the energy of the Lord. Have you ever had an amazing realization? Like something that's really helped you? It was really clear. When you understood it, you felt very spiritually strong. Ever had that? So today I realized this, and when I realized this, I became much more inspired or detached, or I felt much stronger spiritually. You've had that sometimes? Even brand new devotees have that. After they move in the temple, they have it. Like sometimes almost immediately, or even before they move. And when you have that, do you realize that's a gift? Do you think, thank you, Krishna? Or do you think, wow, I'm so advanced? What do you think? First or the second? Sometimes the first, sometimes the second. At those moments, we can appreciate the power of Krishna's mercy. By His mercy, we can have amazing realizations. We could have very high levels of appreciation. We could have deep taste for chanting. Just think for a moment. How much better your life would be if you had deep taste for chanting. Be a lot better, right? Or if you're a little more detached from something that you're attached to that's not good for you, life would be easier. Right? And I bet there are things that you're trying to become detached from, that you've been trying a long time to detach from, and they're still there. And you may be trying many years. And by Krishna's mercy, one moment he could kill that attachment. It's possible. What we could not overcome in 1 second, he could overcome. He could help us overcome. So in order to pray for the mercy and in order to depend on it, I have to have that faith that he could wipe out every problem if we want him to. I think, this sounds strange to say, but I think part of the problem is we may not want him to wipe out all our problems. Because we may not be ready to go back to Godhead yet. Still have a few things to do. Something to think about. In other words, if there's some hesitancy somewhere, or some resistance, or some attachment, could be due to conditioning, obviously, but it could be that we just feel, I'm not ready, I'm not detached enough. Yes? We were talking the other day on the morning walk. Sometimes devotees think, well, if I go back to Godhead, I'm not 100% sure I'm going to like it there. What if I don't like it? Then what do I do? Maybe I'll have to do something I don't like. Maybe I'll live in a part of Braj that I don't like. I have a service I don't like and have to do this forever. Of course, that thinking is completely material. But we do it. At least sometimes. We may have those thoughts. And it's that kind of resistance that we have to overcome. It's foolish, right? Yes? The Lord says, to those who are constantly engaged in devotional service with love and affection, the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives intelligence from within, and thus they may make further progress. If you ever find yourself in a situation like this, where you're thinking, I don't know, I'll go back to Godhead, Prabhupada said there's going to be another ISKCON there, I don't know. There's already so many problems in ISKCON down here. What if I'm in the wrong, what if I get there and I want to be a Gopa, but they make me a Gopi? No. Maybe the food's too spicy up there. Some crazy thought. These are good times to pray. Krishna, help me purify this thinking. This is wrong. This is material thinking. Please give me intelligence. Or please give me the desire to just want to please you and not care. And have the faith that I know everything is perfect if I just learn to love you, that everything will be perfect. One of my godbrothers was saying that in this world, we often think of something we want, whether it's a product or a relationship or a sport, adventure, a vacation. Then we begin thinking in our mind what it's going to be like, how we're going to enjoy it. If I just buy this, then we imagine the pleasure we'll get from having it. Have you ever done that? And then, was what you were imagining, was it that good? Generally, I mean, occasionally it's better, but generally it's generally not as good as you imagine. Because naturally when we imagine the best it could possibly be. No problems, everything's going to go just perfectly. We're going to take our vacation, go someplace, nice palm trees, coconuts, water's going to be perfect. Then you go on the beach and somebody steals your wallet. That happens all the time. So my godbrother was saying that when you imagine something materially, it's generally not as good as what you imagine. And when you imagine something spiritually, it's always better than you imagine. Now, why is it better? Because we tend to look at it materially. It's going to be hard, what if I surrender? It's not easy, I have to do something I don't like, etc., etc. But when you you actually do it, it's always better than what you thought. Isn't it? So one devotee, she often tells me, I don't know if I want to go back to Godhead. I don't know. Maybe I won't like it there. So I was thinking the other day, the answer to that question is, a devotee does not think about what they like. They think about what Krishna likes. And if Krishna wants you to go back to Godhead, that's it. That's what you do. That's love. And if we don't love to learn Krishna, we can't truly love anyone. And if we're always thinking about what we like, that's how we got here, and that's why we're still here. Because we're thinking about what we like. I don't know if I'll like it, if I couldn't. It's not about you liking it. It's about you loving Krishna. It's not about what you like or don't. And so, materially speaking, we only know happiness from doing things we like or getting things we like. And then, so if we think, well, how will I be happy if I have to do something I don't like? It doesn't make sense to our conditioned mind. So it's placing material understanding on spiritual existence, right? So how about this idea? You just please Krishna and you'll be happy. Does that make you nervous? Yes? I don't know. Sounds too heavy. Okay, let's ask a question. Who do you think could make you happier? You or Krishna? And you have had a lot of chances in this life and many lives. So let him try to make you happy. But the point is, as Prabhupada's saying, Tadambi Buddhi Yogam Tam, whatever mentality we have that's not correct, we pray to Krishna, give me the correct mentality. And Krishna can shift your mentality. So I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to go back to Godhead, I don't know if I'm ready. You pray to Krishna, give me the right mentality so I can do this. And he gives it to you. Almost like a drug. Have any of you had that experience? You prayed and your mentality changed? As if you had just taken a drug and like thinking differently? Raise your hand if you had that experience. If you haven't, pray more sincerely. And Krishna can just... You're looking at something in the wrong way, and you pray. And Krishna says, please help me see this in the right way. He shifts your attitude. He shifts your consciousness. Sometimes you see a devotee and you see some fault in that devotee, or you see something about the devotee you don't like. At that time, pray to Krishna, please allow me to see the good in this devotee, allow me to appreciate the devotee, allow me to like this devotee, allow me to feel affection. And he'll do that. If you want it and you pray sincerely. That's the process. So this way we can see that really we often have the wrong mentality. And Krishna, through our prayers, can give us the right mentality. So we're so dependent on his mercy. Okay, let's read it again. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that to those who are constantly engaged in devotional service, with love and affection, the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives intelligence from within, and thus they may make further progress. Being so encouraged, the devotee can never forget at any moment the personality of Godhead. He always feels obliged to him for having achieved increased power in devotional service by his grace. If Krishna pulls out the plug in our bhakti, then what do? We have nothing. So therefore Prabhupada says he always feels obliged for having achieved increased power. Because the devotee knows whatever advancement I'm making, that's Krishna's mercy. So he always feels obliged. Thank you. Let me serve you more. And that's why when a devotee has to undergo some trouble or austerity, he doesn't complain. Because he feels so obliged to Krishna for giving mercy. You know, it's something really interesting. I find these statements of Prabhupada so interesting. In different places in Prabhupada's books, he describes exalted personalities like Indra, different munis, sages, who either become very angry, they lose their tempers, or they become attracted to a beautiful woman and they give in to their sexual desire. And if you do a search, you'll find many of such references in Prabhupada's books. Great personalities who couldn't control their anger or couldn't control their sex desire. And it's kind of scary to read it, because when you read it you think, well, if they couldn't do it, what about me? But because we have Prabhupada's mercy, we're doing it. We're controlling ourselves, more or less. So what these exalted persons failed to do by Prabhupada's mercy, we're able to do. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's like how we're not better than these great persons, but in some ways we're doing better. Isn't that amazing? I mean, if you read these stories of these very elevated persons who gave in to their lust or their anger, you read them and you think, what hope do I have? And then you realize that you're able to control yourself even better than them. There's a verse like that. And so nobody can control their senses like a devotee. That's the power of mercy. Like we read, remember a few days ago we read, Prabhupada said, what my godbrothers couldn't do, my Grihastha disciples did. And the Grihastha disciples had only been devotees a year. My godbrothers were sannyasis, mature in devotional service. And these Grihasthas, 1 year, only practicing bhakti for 1 year, they were able to do more. Guru Kripa, power of the mercy of the Guru. The devotee always feels obliged to the Lord for having achieved increased power in devotional service by His grace. Every night you go to bed and you were able to chant your rounds and follow the principles, you should say, thank you, Krishna. You helped me make it through another day. And you can pray in the morning, my dear Krishna, it's another day. Help me get through this day. 16 rounds, 4 principles. Help me get through this day. In the recovery movement for alcoholics, That's what they did. I was told. I wasn't an alcoholic. Actually, I drank alcohol once. I thought it was obnoxious. Once in a while. So some of them, when they wake up in the morning, they don't look at their whole life being sober. They just look at, get me through today. I'll worry about tomorrow morning. So they pray in the morning, my dear Lord, get me through today without alcohol. Just get me through this next 24 hours. Or whatever it is, 18 hours. So that's very nice. Saintly persons like Sanaka, Sanatan, and Lord Brahma. Prabhupada said Lord Brahma. Brahma. Prabhupada said Brahma. We're able to see the entire universe by the mercy of the Lord, through knowledge of the Lord. Example is given that a person may apparently abstain from sleep all day, but as long as he is not spiritually enlightened, he is actually sleeping. He may sleep at night and perform his duties in the daytime, but as long as he does not come to the platform of working in spiritual enlightenment, he is considered to be always sleeping. A devotee therefore never forgets the benefit derived from the Lord. Okay, so let's go back a few years to a time when you were not a devotee. How were you thinking? What were you doing? You don't have to say. And I know this is a depressing thought. Let me depress you for a moment. Can you remember how you were thinking? Where is this? Where is that? How do we get this? How do we get that? Yes? So you may be thinking, I'm not very Krishna conscious, but compared to what you were, that's a big difference, isn't it? Yes? How did that happen? Mercy of the pure devotee. Mercy of the holy name. Mercy of the Sangha. Mercy of Bhagavatam. All these things. So, if we can remember this, then it helps us so much. Because it makes us remember that without that mercy, Maya will come and destroy us. And we'll be running around like donkeys chasing the carrot. By the force of the modes of nature, and we won't be able to control ourselves. The devotee, therefore, never forgets the benefit derived from the Lord. You remember yesterday, a few days ago, we read a quote from Prabhupada that said, humility is everything. That's an amazing statement. Humility is everything. Because really, if you take apart everything I've said so far, it's really just about how to be humble. Because To depend on Krishna means you understand you need it. And that's what humility means. I understand my power is coming from Him. So, what I'm saying is very difficult to understand unless we develop some humility. You agree? You have to agree. You agree? Ukam karoti vachalam pangulangayate girim yakripatamaham bande siguru dinatayana mukam karoti vachalam. A dumb man can speak. In English, the word dumb means someone who cannot talk. Ukam karoti vachalam. A dumb man can speak poetry. Ukam karoti vachalam pango langayate girim. A lame person. Lame means cannot walk, handicapped. He can cross mountains. He can climb. A lame man can become a mountain climber. A man who cannot speak can become a poet. And a blind person can see stars in the sky if he has the mercy of Mahaprabhu, or the mercy of his Guru, Sri Guru Dinatarim, or the mercy of his Guru. In other words, impossible things can happen if you have the mercy. You remember Prabhupada's prayer when he was coming to America? Totally helpless. And in his prayer he was saying, I don't know how to do this. I don't know if people could understand what I'm going to say. He said, but Krishna, you can make them understand from within their hearts. So Prabhupada was helpless, but he understood this is the nature of bhakti. He said, you could make my speaking suitable. I don't know how to understand, but you can give me the words. That's how it works. Okay. Give me the words. I don't know what to say. And without mercy, we can't say anything. Or we could say the wrong thing. Then Prabhupada was speaking once and he was saying that from Krishna's position, whatever you have is really of no value to him. You can't give him anything that impresses him. Because he created, whatever you give him, he created it. Directly or indirectly. Then Prabhupada said, even your body is of no value to him. He said, that's how you think when you offer something to Krishna. What I'm giving you is of no value. Even my body is of no value. But I'm offering with love. Will you please accept? That's what has the value. And Prabhupada would often, when teaching this principle, would recite the story of Sanatana Goswami. He was living under a different tree every night or every few days as a Babaji. That was the practice. And he had his deity, Madan Mohan, hanging from a tree. The tree he slept under, that's where the deity would go. And the deity was complaining that prasadam wasn't good. Not prasadam. The bhoga offerings weren't good. And so Sanatan was saying, well, we're just living under a tree. There's no grocery stores around here. And I'm an old man, I can't really do much. So basically stop complaining. Joking with Krishna. And Krishna accepted. Yes, this is you're offering me love. So Prabhupada said, what are the value of my things? What is the value of this body and what is the value of my things? They're nothing. But you think, Krishna, I brought them to you. They're of no value to you, but I brought them out of love. You please accept. He said, that is the mood. So you can see. That's what it means to be humble. And that's how you get mercy. Right? And that's how you'll be happy. I promise you'll be happy. Don't worry. Try it. When Prabhupada was successful, who got the credit? Who did he give the credit to? His spiritual master. Have you ever done something really well or been very successful and have become proud? Has that ever happened? Oh, maybe I should say, has that ever not happened? Okay. That never happens to a pure devotee. Never. This is interesting. Think about this. They become very successful, extremely successful, like Prabhupada. And that success has no effect on their consciousness. It has no effect on in any way making them proud. Zero. Isn't that amazing? Why? Because they're 100% in awareness and consciousness. That was Krishna's gift to me, that I was able to do them. Now, here's the problem. If you do something wonderful, you know what people are going to say? They're going to say, that was wonderful. Yes? Do something wonderful, people are going to say, that was wonderful. So, what's the problem? The problem is, we like it when people say, what you did was wonderful. That's the problem. Because if we believe them, what's actually going on? We're identifying with our body and our ability. That's what's happening. Oh, what you did is great, and you feel proud. That's another way of saying I am the body. Yeah. Now think of Prabhupada. If you meditate on this, it's quite amazing. There was no one before Prabhupada that spread Krishna consciousness successfully around the world. Nobody. He was the first in the history of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. But because he had no false ego, he never took credit. It's the false ego that makes you want to take credit. So if you do something wonderful, you're going to find that it's going to be a challenge to not want to take some credit for it. You start let's say Krishnangi starts some amazing eco-village project, and she comes back to Mayapur in 5 years, and everyone in ISKCON has heard about it. It's the best eco-village. And everyone's coming up to her and saying, I saw your eco-village on the internet. It's amazing. You're amazing. I can't believe it. It's going to be hard for her to hear that over and over again if she has a desire to be recognized. But if she has no desire to be recognized, then it's no problem. So the desire to be recognized is coming from false ego. Right? You understand? But I can tell you for sure that when you're on the platform, that this is not me, I didn't do this, but it's Krishna who mercifully gave me the ability and intelligence. And when you think like that, you will actually be ecstatic. And if you want to grab some recognition, you'll never be ecstatic. And that's one of the major landmarks of advancement in spiritual life. No matter how successful you are, you don't feel the need to be recognized for it. Because you fully know that Krishna gave it to you. Yes? Da? Da or da? Both. In English we say da. Wait, da means, that's obvious. Da. You know that? In Russia they know that? No. Estonia they know that? Da.
Similar word?
Da.
Da?
They understand. You don't have it? Like, let's say you say something and you think it's smart, but everybody knows it. You say, duh. Like, of course, everybody knows it. I think it would be good to pray to Lord Chaitanya on Gaur Purnima. That we always appreciate the mercy that he gives us and never think that what I'm doing is because of me, which is false ego, but only because of you. And live our life like that. And you know what? If you live your life like that, you can do amazing things. And no matter how amazing they are, you will never think you were responsible for it. You will always think, mercy of my Guru, mercy of Prabhu. The whole world bows at your feet, and you remain as humble as if not one person bowed at your feet, and no difference. Isn't that amazing? That's what happens when you have no false ego. So you want to ask some questions? Yes?
As we know, there are two fingers. One represents efforts,
Yeah.
and the other one is mercy.
Yes.
Mercy is the bigger finger. Can we understand that our effort, its aim is basically to become humble, and whatever we do is just to put ourselves in that position so that mercy will be able to fall on us. But how does sadhana then come into picture? Because does sadhana also make us humble, or it's both humility and efforts to be humble?
Yeah, sadhana is the effort. But like we were talking the other day, we have to be a receptacle to mercy. So, you have three ways of becoming perfect. One is through sadhana. Sadhana siddha. One is kripa, by mercy. Like, that means some devotee likes you so much, some pure devotee likes you so much, it just, you become Krishna conscious by their prayers. They just pray for you. One day you wake up and you're Krishna conscious. But that's not the general process. General process is through sadhana. But sadhana you still require mercy. It's just that you attract the mercy through your sadhana and through your prayers. But you see, praying is
attracted through sadhana as well?
yeah.
Prayers.
Because prayer is part of sadhana. But like we said the other day, it's not 8 o'clock, is it?
Yeah.
It is? My watches are... Oh my God. That's crazy. What? Oh, that's why I was late. That is weird. That's dangerous. Maybe. You can do sadhana, but you have to. But at the same time, you have to know. You have to be humble enough to know that without mercy, you won't advance. And Bhaktisiddhanta said that mercy will come in response to your effort. And particularly, the effort shows Krishna you want mercy. You need mercy. So they go on together, praying and serving. And that's how you attract the mercy. The pure devotee can give you mercy any time they want. And that is happening. But when Prabhupada was asked one time for mercy, he said, mercy's already there. I've given so many instructions. It's also a question of knowing where the mercy comes from. There's a funny story. One devotee was giving class for 2 hours. And a disciple came up and said, "Oh, Gurudev, show me your mercy." He said, "That's what I just did for the last 2 hours." You understand? No, to know how it comes, where it comes. It's like you invite me over to your house and you feed me, and after you feed me, I say, "So when are you going to feed me?" It doesn't make sense. You've been fed 2 hours by your guru, and then you say, "Give me your mercy." Guru Maharaj, I'm so fallen, give me your mercy. You know, just like, I've written 80 books, I've given you a society, I've given you Sangha. Okay, yes, we should pray for mercy, but we should take advantage of mercy that's there also. But I think your sincere desire to advance is what Krishna sees. But you have to back that up with actions that demonstrate that's what you feel. Yes?
For some of us, before becoming devotees or knowing the
how is that we got that much mercy? We don't have the desire, or I don't know even how to pray.
We may never know, but it's the mercy of another devotee that they took time to help you, give you a book, give you prasadam, talk to you. Because it's said that the only way you get bhakti is from someone who has bhakti. So someone who has it is giving it to you, and somehow or other you are fortunate enough to receive it and use it. And I'd say, what did I do? Maybe we don't know, but you were smart enough to take it. And most likely you had connection with bhakti in the past, and that's why you did it. And here we are again in another life, trying to become pure devotees. So if we're smart, then this life will finish. If we're not smart, we'll have to come back. Obviously, if you were attracted to bhakti, especially right in the beginning, there must be some connection. And due to engaging in devotional service, having some piety in the past, association of a pure devotee, you took advantage and got the benefit. And all your friends didn't. Is that what you're thinking? Why me and not my friends? Yeah. Where I lived, my neighborhood, I was very close to the temple in Los Angeles. So it means all my friends lived, let me calculate this. Yeah, they all lived within a 5-minute drive of the temple. Maybe 4 to 6 minutes. All of them. That's the neighborhood I grew up in. Guess how many became devotees? Who would like to guess? It's less than one. That's a hint. Less than one. In fact, I never even saw any of them at the temple. And some of them went to India when they were like 18. And still. Then I finally met, I was in Sankirtan, and I met one of my friends who had gone to India. He had a tattoo of Krishna on his arm. And I met him, I was distributing books, and he was saying, why are you doing this? This is a waste of time. You should get a job and make some money. So somehow or other we're fortunate. But I would say the best way to think is that I'm fortunate if I take advantage of the fortune given to me. And unfortunate if I don't take advantage. So sometimes Prabhupada said fortunate. Sometimes he said intelligent. Sometimes he said the devotees created the fortune for you, and we just took it. But whatever the case, just take it. Yes?
I have a question about apology, because speaking apology, daily into praxis, because we're speaking about mercy, and I'm a bit confused by the whole thing, because I know devotees go there as well, and I don't understand why, because it's a form of Krishna which grants any wish, so they say, and why would devotees go there if Krishna anyway gives us the best, what's in our best interest? Whether it's a bad thing, like from a material perspective, it's still like for our soul to progress, and if it's a good thing, then he will also give it to us, and he sees our every desire anyway. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's a good question. Well, I mean, I can give an answer that won't satisfy you. Ask the devotee who went there. Because you're kind of asking me to represent their... But because that deity is, let's say it's true, that the deity does do that, then one may be inspired to serve in a certain way or to do a certain project, and then to go to the deity and ask for mercy, because that deity is especially merciful. Is it wrong? No. You say, well, you could ask your local deity. You travel all that way and ask another deity.
If Krishna wants this service in this particular way, he would anyway give you this opportunity. That is what I understand.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's more of a sentiment or a rasa. Like different deities are famous for different things. So maybe the devotee is attracted to a particular deity. He wants to ask that deity for something that the deity is famous for giving. That might be the... It's not that Prabhupada ever taught us to do that.
He never.
Go to this deity and ask for this. We have our own deities. It's an interesting question, because there is this idea of seeing deities is a little bit like sightseeing, and that the main purpose of going on pilgrimage is to hear from the sadhus. Because if one isn't pure, then they're only seeing some material form, not Krishna's actual form. I ended up in Tirupati once. Not sure why or how, but I prayed to the deity. I think he answered my prayer. So, it could be a sentiment. This deity is known for filling desires. I want to build this temple, I want to do this project, I'm going to go to that deity and pray. So you could say it's more of a rasa or a sentiment.
But the rasa there is kind of, I give a donation to you and then you grant my wish, which is not really a
No, but
relationship.
that's a little different. Yana, give me $100, and you give it to me, and then I go out and buy you a present. It's like, I need $100. Why do you need $100? I need to buy you a present. Krishna, please help me. Why? Because I want to serve you. So it's not business.
Yes, but I know that for non-devotees, but just other, Hindus who go there, they actually ask material things as well.
Hindus. Of course, materialistic devotees. Yeah. That's typical of Hinduism. Go to the deity to ask for something. Definitely. Give some gold, give some hair. If you're a woman, you can shave your hair. Come out bald. Give your hair to the deities as a sacrifice. You want to do it? I have big piles of hair.
What would the deity would do?
They sell it. They sell it. They make wigs. Sell to people who make wigs. See, I gave all my hair to the deity. Can you tell? The idea is because, well, I think boys do it also, but especially women. It's like, look around the room, who has the long hair? The men or the women? The women like long hair, so shave it off, give it to the deity, it's a sacrifice. And you might look at that and think, wow, they're really detached, or really renounced. But they may be doing it for something material.
Yes,
Husbands. Did they get them? Did they get the husbands? Good ones? Yes. Did that answer your question? Or? I mean, it's not.
I'm satisfied with the fact that Prabhupada didn't really promote this type of.
Well, he definitely didn't promote praying for something material.
Yes, but at the same time, when devotees are praying for something non-material, I still don't understand why they don't pray like in our temples. Because Krishna still sees the desires like everyone else said before.
Well, I think it's if someone's on pilgrimage and they're already there. It's like I said, it's like they're traveling through South India. They're already there. Maybe we should go see the deity and then we can pray. But to fly from here to go there just to pray for something, I don't know.
And when it comes to non-devotees, if that form of Vishnu grants their wish, which is also maybe detrimental to their whatever life of their soul, because maybe if they don't have something or if they're suffering, it's still gonna bring them some spiritual benefit eventually, and then they get this material happiness. How does that help them?
The only way it helps them, at least this is what Prabhupada said, is that if they pray to the deity, and the deity fulfills it, then they'll feel grateful. They'll want to pay it back. So, but what you said may also happen. Yes.
Вы упомянули, что причиной духовного прозрения встречи с преданным и то, что преданный уделил какое-то время, поделился этой милостью.
You mentioned that one of the reasons for spiritual enlightenment could be that one met a devotee, and that devotee spent some time with that person.
Бхактивинод Такур, он в своем баджане как раз говорит о том, что тот, кто будет помогать, распространять нитьянанди, ну и ему знание о святом имени, милость, то получит свои проценты.
And Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his bhajan also mentioned that whoever helps him and whoever needs to spread this knowledge would also get some percentage from that mercy.
Откуда берется вот это желание, то есть это какая-то медитация, ну, конкретно на миссию духовного учителя, либо это преданного, настолько он получает, переполнен этой милостью, что он начинает делиться, как это происходит. Ну, одно дело, если он просто себя как это, медитирует на миссию, и он как себя как бы отталкивает, а другой он как бы переполняется этой милостью, он что-то реализовался, он как бы,
So where does this desire come from? Does it come from the fact that he has so much, he has received so much mercy and it's just overflowing him and he wants to share, or he has to push himself kind of artificially to do that? То есть, говорят, либо он уже переполнен, либо он
либо он, у него, ну, как бы этого много, и поэтому он хочет поделиться. А второй вариант, что он просто, ну, как бы немножко заставляет себя.
Kind of like one option, it comes naturally because he's overdosed with that mercy, and the second option is that he just forces himself to meditate on the mission of the spiritual master and kind of does that because he knows he has to.
Both. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's the other. When the mercy isn't there, you have to go after it. You have to look for it. You have to earn it. Sometimes it just comes. One of the best ways to get mercy is to chant good rounds. The mercy is always available. You have to know how to get it. grab the ghee lamp and walk around with it. Get some mercy. When there's prasadam, serve out. When you have time, learn a shloka. There's so many ways to get mercy. You find someone needs help, help them. We have a question here. How can we test ourselves to know the level of submission to Guru and Krishna? Good question. Just see if you have resistance to anything the Guru is saying. Reluctance to execute it. Doubts and so forth. Hesitancy, doubts. Lack of faith. Anything else? Okay, party's over. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Hare.